Brazil and Argentina want to get together to make a baby. What they really want to do is get a currency of their own going. This is the talk now between the two leaders of the country, we'll say in air quotes, and this is hilarious as to what is going on in the Davos type crowd and how they are freaking out. Larry Summers coming out, he's either former or current IMF chief economist, saying it's insane. And there's a couple other guys, a couple of quotes that are of these guys saying stuff about how, Muhammad al-Arian, like all these wonks and these policy wonks and these economists, these people that have, like, again, Warren Buffett. Warren Buffett has some amazing personal development quotes, but many of the financial things he says, we're not fans of here. And it's okay to hold two opposing opinions about someone or something in your head at the same time. That's one of the marks of an intelligent human being, is being able to hold opposing views or be able to argue both viewpoints. And Warren, again, he's a heck of a trader, and he's a smart guy. He does a lot of research, and that's great and all. However, he is a massive beneficiary of the fiat Ponzi scheme that's being run over the last 100 years, and he saw it from an early age that, hey, if I just kind of get my claws in here, get into with the effort of compounding, obviously, which is one of his smart things, but he saw the world for what it was and not what he wanted it to be, to his credit, and started making friends with all the right people and putting his hands in the right cookie jars. And he has been one of those beneficiaries, and unfortunately he is caught on to tech trends very, very late. Just bought Apple a few years ago, still calls Bitcoin rat poison to this day. And what he doesn't say, the rest of that quote, when he says it's rat poison to the banks and to the central bankers. And what do you know, lo and behold, Warren, some of his biggest positions, are in banks, Wells Fargo, stuff like that. People that, mind you, are scamming people over and over again. We just did like a month or so ago another article on Wells Fargo scamming the living daylights out of people for hundreds of millions, billions of dollars, and them getting fined again, like $1 billion. Like, oh, oops, sorry, that was like one day profit for them, type of thing, and they just slap on the wrist. These are Warren's companies. So him and Charlie Munger are saying some of the most ridiculous, absurdly ridiculous things out there because it doesn't benefit their fiat Ponzi's, the fiat games that they are playing and have played for so long, and they know how to play the game well. I mean, his Moody's, rating agencies, rating things getting way over their skis 15 years ago, and rating these, whether it's, I believe it's different bonds and things like that, rating them, these are good, these are great, AAA, and then the things are just collapsing left and right in the great financial crisis. And that was your company, Warren. And then he's the one getting benefit of the bailouts. Many of his companies getting massive bailouts. So the money printer, the currency printer, been good to Warren. Let's just say that. So, again, Warren can be a great investor. He can have some great personal development quotes and some great insights to life, living a long time, a lot of wisdom there. At the same time, he can also be a massive beneficiary of the fiat Ponzi that's going on. And it obscures truth a lot of times for these people. They don't see the writing on the wall. They don't see how the average person is getting crushed between the millstones of taxation and inflation, as our Soviet friends 100 years ago said. If you want to get rid of the capitalism, you want to get rid of free markets, just grind the people between taxation and inflation. And that's exactly what we have. We've had that for the last 100 years. That's what central banks do. And Warren's been a big, massive beneficiary of that. So you have him and all of his ilk saying how that'd be a terrible thing for Argentina and Brazil to do this. Mind you, Argentina's blown up, how many times? 3, 4, 5 times over the last 30 years. Their currency continually defaulting because they keep having it inflated and debased beyond the people, and just they can't live, right? So you've seen this in Venezuela, you've seen this now in Lebanon and Greece, and many of these European countries, Sri Lanka, people storming. We talk about these things again over and over again, and example after example. So what is the definition of insanity? Doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result. Why in the world would you just say, what? I don't think them partnering together is necessarily the best idea, but it's a better idea, at least just off of critical thinking. It's a better idea than just trying to do what they've been doing over and over again, right? Like, well, I guess we're going to use $1 and have the IMF come and try to bail us out, and they still owe tons of money. The article I was reading from Zero Hedge, tons of money. They owe like $40 billion from 2018 IMF bailout, and they didn't make a $500 million payment to foreign creditors. In the last couple of years. So they've got their problem. So why would you keep doing the same thing over and over again? If you're Argentinian, why don't you say, like, man, you know what? I got to start going a different way. And herein comes the Bitcoin, right? The Bitcoin, Brian Armstrong, the CEO of and founder of Coinbase, just said Bitcoin might be a good option for them. Elon Musk just tweeted out and said, that'd probably be a good idea if these two countries partnered together, stuff like that. So you have people who see the future. Elon Musk, Brian Armstrong, even though Brian Armstrong was a Bitcoin maximalist, he was a freedom maximalist, and then he went to the dark side a little bit and started playing the altcoin casino in Coinbase. But there's old tweets of him years ago saying, hey, Bitcoin's the only thing, guys. Like, all this other stuff is just garbage. It'll get sucked into the Bitcoin ecosystem eventually. Again, hey, everyone's got their price, and he saw the dollar signs, the fiat dollar signs with these altcoins and the fees he could make people trading, and it is what it is. However, again, we see the writing on the wall. Why would you not go to a Bitcoin standard where you have inflation rate of about 1.7% right now, and it's going to get halved again here in about a year, in early May or April of 2024, and then it keeps getting halved. We know with certainty the inflation rate and the issuance of the coins over the next 100 plus years until 2140. Why wouldn't you do that for your people, for your country? Get on the Bitcoin standard, just like El Salvador did, Central African Republic. Many of these countries now talking about this in Latin America, all across the world. Again, Russia has already kind of winked that they are going to do this and nodded towards doing this and pricing their oil and their resources in Bitcoin. So at the end of the day, it's game theory. And as soon as a couple of these big players, a G7 or G20 country does this, boom, it's game on. They're going to have the people like Jason Lowry out there talking to the White House, talking to people here. He just did a great talk about Bitcoin and bit watts, just kind of mind-blowing stuff that the way these people are thinking about this stuff, and just energy and digital energy, just next level. I couldn't even begin to talk about how they think of it. If you're Argentinian, though, again, wrapping this up, coming full circle, why would you not do something different? What do you have to lose? This is the article in the blog I did 6 months ago about Social Security or your 401k. The average person, the senators writing these articles to Fidelity saying, oh, I can't believe you would suggest Bitcoin. Do you know that the average person only has 130 grand in their 401k, or the median in their 401k is 33 grand? Why in the world, if you're an investor or if you're a retiree or trying to retire here in a little bit, why would you not take a chance and put a little bit of your capital into this thing, into Bitcoin? 1%, 5%, or 10% could make double, triple, 10x your portfolio over the next 5-10 years as you're looking to retire, 20 years especially. So at the end of the day, why would you not do that? You have a little bit to risk and a lot to gain. It's called asymmetric risk, asymmetric gamble, or if you will. So why would you not take that small chance for a huge, massive upside reward? That volatility, again, people say, people like Raul Paul just, commenting on Brian Armstrong's thing, and, well, I can't do that. It's not enough adoption yet. It's way too volatile. Yeah, because you're thinking of it in fiat terms, Raul. If you just look at Bitcoin, just use that system in and itself, one Bitcoin equals one Bitcoin. If everyone's on a Bitcoin standard, your purchasing power, each Bitcoin, each Satoshi, just buys you more and more things. You're not transferring it in and out into another currency. You don't need to. Why would I transfer it for a worthless fiat currency, a worthless piece of paper, a dollar or a peso or yen? Why would I do that? I wouldn't. I would be in a Bitcoin world, earning in Bitcoin and paying in Bitcoin, earning more Bitcoin and paying in Bitcoin. That's the world we're entering, where everything's priced, energy, everything is priced in Bitcoin. It's everything in the world divided by 21 million. Period. It's the easiest experiment to run the world. You can value anything in the world. There's no moving goalpost because we know the issuance schedule. We know there's 21 million there'll ever be, and there's probably going to be less, so it's always deflating actually. So your purchasing power continually goes up and the cost of goods continually goes down. And there's a lot of smart people that really don't want to understand that either. Whether it's economists, macro influencers. I've had some back and forth with people like George Gammon, people that are so incredibly smart but just can't see it. They're so caught up in the fiat system and trying to figure out the central banks and their next move and suing the Fed that they can't see the forest from the trees. In practical application, this is what happens. It's the opposite of what we have now. It's prices coming down and purchasing power going up of the people. Simple. That's all there is to it. Don't think any harder than that. And of course, you're going to have people lending their Bitcoin out still and things like that. You're going to have that. However, it's going to be much more transparent, where you're going to be very careful, and only the good will survive. Only the good people will survive. That actually doing something with your value and providing more value for it and creating an actual return. All the Ponzi type economics go away. They just fall away, and that immediately implodes, and those people can't get back into the game. That's the beauty of this. It's a step change for humanity. It is very hard. It's counterintuitive. We've all grown up with inflation. We don't understand it. But wrapping this up again, Argentina, Brazil, why would you not do something different here? Why would you not change what you're doing? You've already done this, and it's already failed over and over and over again. Why would you not go to the standard that no one can corrupt, no one can control? It's immutable, peer-to-peer, frictionless. Why would you not do that? As a citizen, as the government, giving your people that opportunity, seeing what El Salvador has done and the progress they've made in just a year of doing it, just over a year, why would you not give that for your people? If you like freedom, if you like humanity, equality, fairness, justice, you like economic freedom, if you like property rights, if you like self-defense, if you like having your resources be your own resources, if you like technology, if you like science and math, Bitcoin is for you. It's incredible because it aligns incentives of everyone and brings everyone together, both sides, red and blue. Because at the end of the day, we realize that it's not red versus blue, the game being played. It's the state versus you. It's collectivism versus individualism. That's the playing field we're on. They just have us thinking that it's red versus blue or man versus woman, black versus white. That's not the fight. It's the state versus you. So please go check into that a little bit. I think it's a fascinating thing as to what we're seeing more, the death of the dollar standard, trying to move away from the dollar. Mike Maloney talked about this for the last 10 to 15 years, the death of the dollar. He stopped doing it because there's been so many nails in the coffin of the dollar that this is inevitable. They're going to drive it to zero. They already have driven it down 99% in the last 100 years. So where do we think the dollar is going? That's what, we're going to say it's sort of blue in the face. You have to make a move. You staying in the dollar is not... That is a move. You're saying, I believe this thing that's gone down 99% the last 100 years, you know what? It's going to accrue more purchasing power long term. I'm going to hold this thing long term. That's a decision you have to make. Do you believe that? Or do you think it's going to continue being printed away into oblivion, debt's going to get higher and higher, and that dollar's going to be worth less and less? You have to make that decision. I've made my decision. I'm in primary assets, in gold, silver, Bitcoin, real estate, in hard, tangible assets. I've chosen Bitcoin as my currency, as the new currency that I operate with. The real estate we do, things like that, I denominate everything. I can value real estate perfectly because I have Bitcoin to measure it against. Real estate divided by 21 million. We showed time chain stats, priced in Bitcoin, everything priced in Bitcoin. You can see the real value of everything. So go check those things out. Let me know your thoughts on the Argentina Brazil thing. This is just comedy hour. That you have all these policy wonks, these economic wonks, and these shills for these global agencies saying that's insane. That's because it rips the power away from them and gives it back to people around the world. That's what they're so scared of. That's what they were talking about in Davos a ton just this past week, because they are beyond scared for the power that Bitcoin gives them. They are trying to roll out CBDC, central bank digital currencies. They are coming. Many countries are going to try to roll this out around the world, and you're going to see massive unrest. Again, we've been talking about this for years now. I guarantee you'll see massive unrest everywhere because of the ESG, CBDCs, and what's going to happen going forward. Bitcoin is the way out. Thank you for your time and energy. It's the most important asset we have. Please like and subscribe to the video. Please share it to someone, uncle, cousin, friend that you think might need to get this, might need to hear from someone else. And we look forward to seeing you on the next one. Remember, time is Bitcoin. Bitcoin is time. It's the two finite assets we have. Make that fair trade. We'll see you on the next one.